Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today. And I'm thrilled to have you joining with me. Today, we're going to be talking about the calm salon and how profitable businesses are built without the owners burning out with this special live presentation. I had the honor and privilege of presenting a keynote at the Regional Growth Summit in Birmingham this past week. And I thought it would be great to give everyone else the opportunity, for those who weren't able to make it to Birmingham, to hear what is an incredibly important message. And that is why I am doing this again today. So if you're here with me, then please let me know in the comments. It would be great to see if you are here with us. Always excited to see that. And I will try my very best to try and respond to the comments later on as we go. So I'm going to dive right into my presentation, and I'm going to start with somewhat of a riddle, right? A question, a quiz, whatever you like. I'm going to show you two different salons, and I want you to tell me which one you think is going to make the most money. Now, is it going to be Salon A that you see on your screen right now? And this salon is fully booked, right? It's fully booked. And we all know how that important that is, don't we? It's fully booked. Constant messages coming through, inquiries all of the time, all hours of the day. The team asking questions of the owner throughout the day, and the owner still on the salon floor, probably delivering more services and treatments than any of their team. And behind the scenes, well, don't you know, it's just pure chaos. That's Salon A. Now, Salon B, slightly different. This is the calm salon. Oh, this is where there is quiet leadership from behind the scenes. The team are operating confidently because they all know their role and they all understand their part to play. The owner, therefore, isn't required everywhere because there are systems in place to ensure the business runs without them. And they specialize in just a few high yielding services only. So which do you think it is? Is it Salon A or Salon B? Salon A or Salon B? Which do you think it is? Feel free to comment. Which makes more money? Well, do you know what? A lot of people just assume that it would be the busy salon because that's what we've been taught as an industry, isn't it? You've just got to get busy. You've just got to fill the columns. But actually, it's the calm salon which always wins. And furthermore, not only does it make more profit, but it also gives the owner a much better life as well. You see, the old salon model, it's broken. But today, I'm going to show you the new way. I probably don't even need to explain to you that the old model is broken because as a salon owner yourself, you're probably experiencing it. Heck, you're living it, I suspect, right now. And by that, what I mean is that you're going to have seen the wildly accelerating cost basis. In fact, Professional Beauty put up a article this very week where Dojo had reported that costs of running a salon, the hard costs, had increased by 90% over the last decade. So I don't need to tell you that those costs have escalated. And of course, we've got this thing in our industry where there's such a resistance to putting our prices up. And that has meant that margins have been squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed until finally, in many instances, they have gone pop. However, it's not all doom and gloom. because today I'm going to show you an alternative model. We're going to call it the new way to run your salon. And we're seeing people doing this right now who are making more money than ever. And not only that, but there is less dependency on them. So they have got more freedom within their life at the same time. My name is Ryan Power. I'm a beauty business mentor, author, marketing geek, and self-professed hummus enthusiast, just in case you've not seen my mug before. And my business partner, Holly, I'm a Salonology co-founder, and I set up Salonology over a decade ago, back in 2014. And at this point, we have helped hundreds and hundreds of salons personally with our mentorship. And we have had thousands at this point, over 5,000 salons invest in our courses, programs, or in some of our books. I've had the privilege of writing two best-selling books and appeared on just about every single stage within the industry at this point. However, the most important slide, there we go. There's a whole load of our Gold Club members, which is one of our key group coaching programs. But the most important slide of this mercifully short introduction is this one. And this is a picture of our own day spa and salon. Okay, our own day spa and salon, which Holly and I started from scratch and owned for over a decade. And the reason why that slide is even more important than normal is because when we had our day spa and salon, not only was it wildly profitable, but Holly only used to go into the salon 2 mornings per week. And I never went in. And that was because there were a whole load of things that we did in that business, which I'm going to talk about today. And they're also the same things. We've noticed the patterns, right? You've probably heard the expression before that success leaves clues. And actually, if you look at the people who are emulating the performance or the results that you want, you can just trace back and see what they did. And we had a look at many of our best performing clients' businesses. And actually, we have managed to put a name on some of the things that they're doing because it's the same as what we did in our business. The old way is broken. If you are still running your salon like it's 2005, then you are going to be in for a rude awakening. My advice to you would be that if you're noticing in your margins getting squeezed and your profits are getting squished, then act now whilst you still can and before it is too late. We've had a few people comment, so I'm going to go ahead and say hello to the people who are live. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Claire. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Natalie. Thank you for joining me live. I really, really appreciate it. If you're watching this live, do say hello. And if you're watching this back on the replay, leave me a comment saying hashtag replay. All right. Here's the thing, folks, and this is one of the real cruxes of everything that I'm going to talk about for the next 25 minutes or so. And that is that our industry has been feeding you lies. It's a whole pack of lies, right? There are some big, big industry lies, which they may have been true once upon a time, but they sure as heck are not true now. And that's because our industry has always taught certain things. And one of the things that it has taught is success is equal to having a full salon. You hear this all the time, don't you? Got to fill the diaries, got to fill the diaries, got to fill the diaries. We hear it all the time. And yet, there's never a mention in that conversation of what we're filling the diaries with. There's always been this kind of idea that a client is a client is a client. And as long as we've got something in those diaries and as long as they are full, then it feels like a success to us. But actually, that doesn't work anymore. We've also been taught that success is equal to hard work. If we just work harder, then surely the success will come our way. But I think we both know that's probably not true either, because Having worked with salon owners for the last dozen years, I can tell you that a lot of them are some of the hardest working people I've ever known. So if success was equal to hard work, then oh my gosh, our industry would be full of millionaires right now, wouldn't it? And I think we both know that's not true as well. How about this one? How many people believe that success is equal to feeling needed? We want our clients and our team to rely on us. We want to touch every moving part of our business. But actually, if you do that, you become the cap to what your business can actually achieve. The reality is this: being needed everywhere, it caps both your income and your freedom. And I say all of this with love, not only because I've been there myself, because I got it wrong. First of all, I got it wrong in multiple businesses. I got it wrong over and over and over again. But what I learned was that you have to change things to see if you can then get it right. And there's too many people in our industry who are resistant to that change because they want to do things the way that they've always been done. That is going to land you in hot water. Not only that, not only is your income going to be capped, but so is your freedom. And a lot of people tell me, they want to have 4 weeks holiday. They want to take the kids to Disneyland. They want to go away for the holidays, all of these wonderful things. But if your business breaks the moment you step out of it, then you're never going to be able to achieve that. Beautifully Gorgeous says in the comments, I'm trying to change things and I completely agree with you. Well, I'm going to even let you know what things to change in the next 15 to 20 minutes. So stick with me. And Belly's Beauty Haven says, Ron, I found you 12 months ago. I bought your books and now I'm invested. Well, I appreciate that as well. Keep listening. Because here's this path, right? This is the path that salon owners have traditionally followed, and this will probably resonate with you because it wouldn't surprise me if this has been your path as well. We start off life as a therapist or as a stylist or as a technician, out of college, really excited, raring to go, can't wait to roll our sleeves up and get stuck into what is, of course, an amazing industry. And then step two is we open a salon, or maybe we don't open our own, but we end up becoming the owner in some way. There's a lot of salon owners who maybe didn't start out wanting to own a salon, but now they have one because an opportunity came along, or their boss retired, or whatever it might have been. Then work harder, right? Want to earn more money? Work harder. Want to have a better standard of life? Just work harder. That's been drilled into us. But then we become the bottleneck because when everything goes through us, we can't possibly grow. Because if you've not realized this already, we run out of time. Humans aren't scalable. We can't scale a human being. And by Jove, maybe there are some scientists somewhere in the world as we speak working on cloning humans. I dare say there are, but they're not available in the marketplace yet, as far as I know. So many people say to me, Ryan, if I could just clone myself, if I could just get another version of me, then everything would be okay. Well, that ain't about to happen this week, my friends. So that's why I've got an alternative for you. And again, the last step in that chain is that the business then depends on you. And when it's entirely dependent on you, again, it's not scalable and you can't walk away. And this is a stark realization, folks. But if your salon can't run without you on the floor, then you don't own a business. You've got a job with overheads. In fact, you've got all the worst bits because if you've just got the job, you can go home and shut up shop and not have to worry about it for the evening. But when you're the owner, you've still got to worry about everything else as well. You can't be doing every single part of your salon. And if you're in a situation where you're the biggest earner right now, or if you've got a team, especially if you've got a team and the members of your team are earning less than you, if they don't have as many appointments as you, then you're really want to gonna tune into this. So let's have a look at why chaos feels so normal in our industry. Excuse me. We've identified three traps. Let me know in the comments if any of these traps you're, well, trapped in them. Trap number one is the technician trap. And this is where the owners stay firmly lodged within their comfort zone. And they say things like, well, I'm the best at doing the work, or no one can style as well as I can, or perhaps no one else will do it properly. Oh my gosh. Have you ever caught yourself saying any of those things? Be honest with me, right? Because I hear them all the time from salon owners. And the result is that you become the engine of the business. You're the driving of it forward. Everything goes through your hands. And you are unquestionably the biggest earner. And you don't even want to pass the jobs or the clients on because you think that no one can do it as well as you can. Even if you are a solopreneur, there are still tasks within your business which you can, no, which you must delegate, outsource, automate, or just forget about. That is the case for almost every salon I speak to. So let me know. Put a one if you feel like you are in the technician trap. The second trap is what we call the busy trap, right? The busy trap. Now, this is where full diaries feel like success. And again, that's what we've been caught. So you can be forgiven. That's what we're taught right from the start, isn't it? Got to fill the diaries, got to fill the diaries, got to fill the diaries, because once upon a time that was true. And if you just booked enough people in, then enough would trickle through that you would be able to earn a wage at the end of it. But times have changed. Costs have gone through the roof, meaning a lot of those services which people are, I'm going to say, mindlessly booking are not making enough profit. Heck, some of them are making no profit. And there's many people who are too naive to the numbers because they're not numbers people. And then at the end of the year comes round, there's nothing left. You see, the problem is that busy salons often have poor margins. And not only that, but they've got exhausted owners because there's not enough strategic thinking going on. You see, when you're really, really busy all of the time and you don't have time to think, to breathe, I mean, you probably haven't had a lunch break since 1998. When you're in that situation, the problems are hidden by the busyness. They only come to light at the end of the year when HMRC want their chunk. There's nothing left. Yet calm salons, they expose these problems. And you want the problems to be exposed because then you can deal with them. So if that sounds like you, if you sound like you feel like you are in the busy trap, then put a 2 in the comments. Maybe you're in more than one trap. The third trap is what we call the hero trap. And the hero trap is where the owner, well, she solves just about everything, right? And I know a few people that are in this trap. If there's team problems, the owner sorts them. If there are client issues, the owner sorts them. If there are decisions that need to be taken, the owner sorts them. Everything goes through the owner. But the problem with this is that every time you rescue the system, it never improves. And you'll know that you're in this trap if when you try and take a holiday, your phone doesn't stop ringing. And maybe that you will find that you've got messages coming through every 5 minutes. Whatever happens in the salon, the team need to phone you, right? And you feel like you can't step away. And 2 days before the end of your holiday, you've got this sick feeling in the pit of your stomach because you're wondering what you're gonna return back to. If that's you and you're in the hero trap, then put a 3 in the comments. You might be in all 3 traps. That would be incredibly honest of you to admit that. And by the way, I've been in the hero trap in a previous business and it's not fun at all. The good news is that it's actually quite simple to break out of. So let me introduce to you the calm salon model. This is the new way. And this is a new lens for the new economy. And by new economy, what I mean is that we would be naive to overlook the fact that costs have gone through the roof, staff costs have gone through the roof, rent prices have gone through the roof, business rates have gone through the roof. The cost of supplies has gone through the roof. The cost of employing people has gone through the roof. But also, client demand has changed because people will still pay good money, incredible money for the right services. But what many people won't pay for is they've hit a ceiling for what we traditionally would call our bread and butter. Those traditional services that always used to tide us over, used to keep us going. Well, actually, for many salons, they don't make any money doing those anymore. And having those in your diary, all it's doing is clogging up the space, both for you to be serving people at a higher level, but also just for your thinking time, for your decision-making time, for your promotions, all of these other things which don't happen when you're doing back-to-back-to-back-to-back services. And those are the things which actually move your business forward. And that's somewhat of a paradoxical trap of itself for many, many people. These aren't tactics that I'm going to share with you, but it's a model of operation. And we have identified 4 what we call milestones, which take you from frustration to freedom. And it doesn't matter which one you're at the moment, but we all want to get to freedom, right? And that is where we were before we sold our day spa and our salon. I mentioned at the start, Holly only used to work 2 days a week, 2 mornings a week. And I've got clients now who do the same, right? Some that just take off the entire school holidays. What's that? 10 weeks a year. Nice. It's possible. I promise you. But only if you do certain things in the design of your business. And if you want our help putting this in action, then we can have a chat afterwards to see if we might be a good fit for working with one another. So we've got 4 steps. Step 1 is what we call control. Now, calm salons, they start with clarity. And that means clarity about where you want to go, but also clarity about where you are right now. Because if you can't read the scorecard and you don't understand the numbers, how do you know if you're winning or not? That's going to be difficult to ascertain, right? You'd have to agree. So this is about understanding where your profit comes from, what we call your profit drivers. Most salons have 2 or 3 services or treatments which generate the vast majority of their profit. I'm not talking about revenue. I'm talking about profit. What's left after everything else has been paid out? You gotta know where your profit comes from. You also need to know where your time goes, because as the owner of your business, your time, especially if you're a small to medium-sized business, your time is one of the most important assets in your business. So you've got to be using it to the absolute maximum. And by that, I don't mean maximizing the hours you're doing. I mean maximizing the tasks that you're doing so that they have the highest return on your investment of time. That means not wasting your time doing things which you could employ someone else to do for less than £20 an hour. Because as the business owner, your time should be worth much, much more than that. And it breaks my heart when I hear owners that are still doing the cleaning. I had a conversation with someone. I'm not going to name check her, but hopefully she won't mind me mentioning this. A conversation with someone at an event earlier this year, and she said to me, "Well, the thing is, though, Ryan, no one folds towels like I fold towels. Right? No one folds towels like she does. I mean, folding towels is a learnable skill. You could teach anyone that, right? So your time needs to be spent doing the highest yielding activities, which no one else can do because no one else is going to do them. So if all your time is spent doing the lower yielding services, there's no time left to do the stuff which actually takes you where you want to go. Owners also know what depends on them because there's certain things which you have to do, right? No one else is going to do the strategy of the business for you. No one else is going to lead the team. No one else is going to show and display the vision and work out the big strategic decisions that want to take you forward. But the sad fact is that for most salons, all of those activities, they just never take place. And therefore, they're just constantly on this, hamster wheel, for want of a better expression. And most chaotic salons, they're operating blind because the owners don't know those things. And if you're watching this thinking, I'm not really sure where my time goes, and I certainly don't know what services are most profitable versus what aren't, well, there's your homework for the after the session. After you have passed through that milestone, we go on to the next one. This is called leverage. And this is where the owner really changes roles and there's less doing and more leading. Okay. And again, even if you are a solopreneur, this still works for you because you still don't have to be touching everything in your business. The modern world has evolved. Lots of jobs can be outsourced. You still shouldn't be cleaning, doing bookwork, doing administrative work. Maybe you don't want to go and do your shopping. Maybe you shouldn't be cleaning your house. I mean, you outsource the education of your children, so you can outsource your cleaning, right? Your floor hours naturally reduce, and that is to free up your time to do the stuff that no one else can do. We call that CEO time. And that is the building blocks that successful businesses are built upon. Because you can't grow a business that depends on your presence. Our Holly's got a saying. She says, Richard doesn't fly the planes. And she's talking about Richard Branson, of course. And he doesn't, does he? He's also not checking you in at the airport. And he sure as heck isn't going up and down the aisles serving you your gin and tonic with one of those little umbrellas in it. That's step two, that's leverage. Step three is called profit direction. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. Because calm salons focus on better decision making, not more effort. Gosh, I speak to a lot of salon owners in my job, right? And so many of them are just one or two better decisions away from a completely different business, a completely different reality, and a completely different life. But they do things because it's the way we've always done them, which is a terrible reason to do just about anything. When you start to view your decision making through the lens of, does this take me where I want to go? Is this going to make me more profitable? Or is this going to save me money or effort? Rather than, is this a nice thing to have? Am I doing this because I'm trying to impress someone? Am I doing this because I saw someone on TikTok doing this? Am I doing this because, some slick salesperson at an event told me that this would be the solution to all of my problems? Then you got to take that upon yourself and commit to better decision making. because only you can make some of those decisions as the leader of your vessel. Now, furthermore, these calm salons also prioritize high margin services. Now, for most people I speak to, they have some services on their menu which are 5 or 6 times more profitable than other ones. And yet they're hidden away on their menu. They're not promoted. They don't run adverts to promote those services. They're not showing up on Google. They're not even talking about on their socials. They've just got a grid full of nails pictures because they're easy to photograph. And then they wonder why that's why people are coming to them for. Do you know what? A lot of people would be well advised to actually strip back large portions of their service menu because actually those services are taking them away from where they want to go. And they're delivering those services because, again, it's what we've always done, or because they think clients expect it, or because they kid themselves that people come in for nails and then they upgrade to much more expensive and profitable services. Yeah, even though they don't, for the most part. Or maybe they're doing it just because, oh, well, I've done Mrs. Jones's leg wax for the last 45 years. Is this ringing true for you? Let me know if it is. They remove these low yielding activities because, as I mentioned, actually they're clogging up your diaries, and actually getting rid of that altogether would actually make far more sense. And they stop chasing volume because volume won't necessarily on its own get you where you want to go. It's about better decision making, not more effort. It's stepping away from the idea of just do more, do more, do more, do more. Because all that gets you eventually is overwhelm, burnout, and exhaustion. And you don't want that, right? Profit rarely comes from working harder. It often comes from working differently. And let me demonstrate that to you right now. This is called the money pyramid. And this is true for any cross section of 100 people in any industry. Not just the salon world, it's applicable to any industry. But let's apply it for the salon world, given that we're salon people. 20% of all salon owners, they're just flat out broke. A further 60% are endlessly struggling financially. So that's a full 80%. The lion's share by a big chunk are either struggling or flat out broke. Just 15% make a good living. A tiny 4% are prosperous, and only 1% are rich. And when you do what everyone else is doing, you're doing what the 80% are doing. And they're broke, and they're unhappy, and they're working all the hours. You don't want to be like them. It makes much more sense to work out what that 1 to 5% at the top are doing and copy them. And I promise you, for a lot of cases, they're doing what I'm talking about right here and right now. The question you want to ask yourself is, do I want to keep doing what I've always been doing and end up in the bottom 80% like everyone else is doing? Or do I want to buck the trend, adopt a different strategy, a different model, and join the top 5%? I know which I'd rather be in. Step 4 is the final of the 4 steps. This is stability, aka freedom. And this is the calm stage. And this is where the business works without intervention. I spoke earlier. Holly used to only go in 2 mornings per week. I'm not telling you that to try and impress you. I'm telling you that because it's true. Pressure is handled without chaos. And that's because you have processes, you have systems, you have procedures in place so that everyone knows how the business runs and how it works and what happens in what instances. None of that happens by chance. It happens as a result of putting things in place. Everything runs on systems and structures and never on heroics. And this is where all of the business owner rewards are hiding. Because this is where, if you want to earn the most money and never go in, you can. This is also where, if you just want to do the bits of your business that you love, you also can. If you just want to have a column for half a day on a Friday morning, you can. If you only want to deliver a very small number of services, you can. If you want to spend your time front of house because you love being around people, you can. You can do what the heck you like when you get to this point, because this is where all the rewards lay. Has this made sense? Drop a yes if the penny has finally dropped as to why the way that we've always been taught just doesn't work anymore, and as to why this new model is the future for those who are brave enough to adopt it. Put a yes in the comments if you feel like you agree with that statement. And the biggest part that most of this comes through, guys, is a shift of identity, because that is the real change that's taking place here. And this is moving from the doer of your thing to being the owner of your business. It's from therapist or stylist or technician to CEO of your business. I would ask you, what percentage of your week do you spend thinking about your business rather than working on it? Working in it, beg your pardon. Because a lot of people, they're just trapped inside doing the thing. And the reason why they're trapped is because they see themselves as a therapist. I hear people say, I'm just a therapist. Just a therapist. Can you believe that? Or other people say things like, business is hard. You'll never make money as a salon. Things like that. And if you believe those things to be true, then they will become your reality. That is unquestionable. If you think business is always going to be difficult, that's going to be the case for you. We used to believe that the only way to make more money was to work harder, right? And we were wrong. Those early days of our salon, we were wrong. But we tried all different things because we weren't happy with the results that we were getting. We did all the trial and error, so you don't have to. And what we realized was that stepping back and focusing on a few profit drivers and building a team around us resulted in fewer hours, wildly higher profits, and a much calmer business. We used to take 8, 9, 10 holidays per year. And that was because the business didn't break when we stepped back. Now, you're not going to get there in one step, especially if you're not even at step one yet. It is a process, and change can take time. But the first change comes with you and an acceptance that, yes, I am the CEO of my business and I'm not just a therapist. You see, the goal isn't to escape your business. The goal is to stop being the thing which holds it all together. So you can pick and choose the bits you want to do, and so that you can have a business which supports your life and lets you do all the things you've ever wanted. Maybe you've seen this meme before, because this is the dream we're sold, isn't it? Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. But the truth is actually, do what you love and you'll work really hard all the time with no separation and any boundaries, and also take everything extremely personally. And if that resonates with you, put a lol in the comments, because when I saw that, oh, I did lol out loud, quite literally, right? Because we're sold this dream, aren't we? That come and be a salon owner, right? Be a business owner, earn as much money as you want, uncapped income, work as few hours as you want. And yet, for most people, the opposite is true. They work longer hours than most, and in many cases, for a heartbreakingly tiny remuneration. There is another way, and that today has skirted around the edges of it. Because busy salons might look impressive, but it's calm salons are the ones which win. And the moment your salon becomes calm is the moment it finally becomes a business. If any of this has resonated with you, then I'm opening up some availability in my diary to have a chat about how we might be able to help you put this into place in your business. You can simply comment the word chat underneath this video, or you can visit the link that I'm also going to share in the comments as well. That is www.salonceoaccelerator.com/Ryan Chat. And I will share a link in the comments underneath once this live presentation is finished. Actually, I'm going to do it right now. There we go. Um, Book a chat with me and we'll see whether or not this might be suitable for you and your business. I'd just like to say a thank you for joining me today. It's been great to be able to bring this presentation to you. I'm excited to see how you might be able to make some of these changes in your business to again have the life that you truly want, because that is what we want for you. So I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. I've enjoyed bringing it to you. I think there's a delay on the chat. So if you've got a question, feel free to pop it in the comments. I will get back to you in due course, even if it's not immediately. And I'd like to thank you for your time. And I hope you have a brilliant, brilliant day. And if you'd like to chat for me, just comment the word chat and we can absolutely make that happen as well. Thanks for joining me today.